What's going on, guys? It's Greg from East Coast Dies, and today we have a stringing tutorial for our Elite Pocket in our new Weapon X face-off head. So this is the pocket that we're pre-stringing as our Elite Pocket here, but we also want to show you guys how to string it because we feel like it's a really good pocket for facing off, but also playing the field. So just like with the head, our goal was to make everything great for facing off, where you can definitely win a face-off, but also something you can use after you face off. It's great for ground balls, great for shooting, passing, catching, everything you need to do to play lacrosse. So this is going to be a really nice mid pocket with a good channel but not too tight, really smooth and accurate release. This one is strung with our face-off mesh that's thinner and lighter, just to make it a little bit better for getting the ball in and out of the back of the stick when you're facing off, so you don't get any violations. So first, you're going to start out with a 9-diamond top string, and then we're going to be using knots, 1s and 2s. You can find all those tutorials here on our YouTube channel for those knots specifically, but I will show you briefly how to do them in the tutorial. So without further ado, let's get into how to string the sidewall. So you have your top string done on the second sidewall hole. We're going to start our sidewall on the third, and just like we always do, we're going to do a double loop to start. So put the string through the top sidewall hole, then through that first 10-diamond row of mesh, back around to the sidewall hole, pull it nice and tight, and you're going to go back through the mesh one more time, and then back through that same sidewall hole, creating that double loop. Slight tightness. And then back through the hole one more time, and there's your double loop to start. So we're going to start off by doing a knot, and we're going to skip one sidewall hole. So come down to this one after skipping one, in through the outside of the hole, up through the bottom of the mesh, and then around and over top of that string, making that loose overhand knot. And then, as always, you want to make sure you're pulling all the slack out and getting the mesh down and the knot as tightly as possible so it doesn't move over time. We're going to do that same thing one more time, skipping another sidewall hole, coming down and doing that knot to pull the channel down nice and tight. And then we're going to do one more knot, and this time without skipping a sidewall hole. So we're going to come right down into that next hole and do a knot on that fourth diamond mesh now. Okay, so now that we have our channel starting to be created, we're going to start to work on building the pocket. Since we're going for a mid, we're going to start out with just a 1. So we're going to go, instead of into the sidewall, straight into the mesh, up through the bottom, and then we're going to go into the sidewall. So we're going to actually skip a hole here, and for these we're going to be using knots, but without anchoring the mesh. So it's just going to be a knot right on the sidewall, just like a normal one would be, and we found that this just helps have the string not rotate quite as much when you're facing off. So we've got our 1 done. Now we're going to do a 2. So we're going to loop in 2 diamonds of mesh up to the bottom of the first, then right into going up through the bottom of the second, and then same thing, skipping a sidewall hole and going down and doing another knot just with the 2. So not locking the mesh down to the sidewall, just doing the knot right on the sidewall. Then we're going to do one more 2 to finish out, giving our pocket some depth. Up to the bottom, up to the bottom again, and then down to that next sidewall hole, because these are spaced out a little bit more at the bottom. Doing that same knot right there on the sidewall. Then we're going to finish out with 2 1s. So another 1 through the bottom and through that second to last sidewall hole, doing another knot. And then we're going to finish off with the last one, going through the back of the mesh and then right through the inside of the sidewall, and then tying off with a knot to complete pocket. Okay, so there you have it, the sidewall pattern. You'll notice in this one I used 11 diamonds where I normally would use 10. This is because the diamonds on the face-off mesh are just slightly smaller than what we normally use in Hero 2. So if you wanted to use a Hero 2 piece, you would probably just have to do a tighter bottom string or bump it up a row or take one of these bottom diamonds out of the pattern. For the bottom string on this, we've just got a standard loop bottom string on the 10 diamond row. For shooting strings, what we're recommending is 1 nylon, 1 straight shooting string. I just feel like that was really smooth and was keeping the shooting strings out of the way of where you're facing off. One important note when you're doing your shooting strings for a face-off stick, you want to have them, if you're looking at the back, on the right side of the stick, and that way when you face off, they're not touching the ground or potentially the ball, which is something people often overlook. So if you wanted some more whip, you can move them down in the head. Some face-off guys actually like no shooting strings, so you could try that as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out, I know Greg and Green Knuckles are also doing string tutorials. They might have a different option for you. Check out the YouTube channel to see if they have a different way of stringing it. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.